So let's talk through a few STL designs for the State Police Iron Enforcers, with a look at some rather big and punchy Exo Suits, and reinforcements for the Penal Legion wearing bomb collars. Hello and welcome back to Auspex Tactics, where today we're talking some STL designs from across the legions, with a few new miniatures for the custom channel army. This video is basically my once monthly update on a side project for the channel, a bunch of miniature designs themed around a grimdark police force, initial choices of units and miniatures chosen by you guys in votes, and then new ones coming out once a month. Obviously not everyone will have interest in this, and if you're purely looking for Warhammer releases and tactics content, there's already been a video this morning within the last 12 hours, a roundup of some 40k news things, and there'll be another one tonight as well. That one should be a big damage combo for Blood Angels, so feel free to check back then if you've got no interest in this one. On to the miniature design releases though. As mentioned, the Iron Enforcers are the channel army, loosely themed around my Imperial Guard force, trying to give a miniature range to a brutal grimdark police state. And the way it works is that new miniatures come out once per month on a subscription site called Thangs, similar to Patreon for 3D printed things. Last month we had a bunch of Riot Shields, a Warden character, and half the Bomb Collar Penal Legionaries. And now for November it's Exo Suited Enforcers, an idea that got proposed really quite early on, and it seemed to be quite a popular one from the polls. And then the second half of the promised Penal Legion squad. 5 sculpts last week, and another 5 this one if you want to throw some convicts onto the front line. As ever, there'll all be links down in the video description, $10 per month normally. The first 3 months are $7 with the ATL30 code. For the main unit this month though, it's the Exo Suits. These ones as ever sculpted by Mr. Spiros of Across the Realms, and for his take on Exo Suited Enforcers, he decided to go for a suit called the Gorilla, a fairly standardish harness for the pilot, and to make the biggest feature of the design, the enormous hands and arms, so the thing has a whole load of reach, and also kind of helps the model work a bit better as well, given that you need quite a lot of reach to hold an assault rifle in a pair of hands, as well as no doubt being very good in close combat and stopping convicts with extreme prejudice. The variant this month are equipped with belt-fed machine guns. The idea is that for a future month we can do a more melee close combat version, but hopefully they should serve people in good stead if you want some high-powered shock troops to storm the enemy lines. They could be a good proxy in-game for certain light mechs, or maybe some bulky abhumans perhaps. In any case, here's the full squad of them lined up. There's 5 different primary designs, plus also an empty rig at ease, which will be the free miniature of the month. For the poses, there's a couple of them opening fire, one of them standing more sort of stationary on sentry duty, one of them running up towards enemy lines, and sort of a sergeant commander one, directing the squad of mech suits with the gun in a sort of cocked position. Here's a slightly closer look at the side and back of the mech suits. You can see the pose of the pilots a little better there. The idea is that they're controlling the suits with sort of gauntlets. They've got quite big sturdy feet, really quite solid and grounded from a firing position with that suspension. Then finally we've got the free miniature of the month, which you can download from Thangs just directly. A fairly well endowed female enforcer pilot, all ready to dispense a bit of justice with help of a mech suit. Otherwise, as well as the Gorilla suits, there's also the second half of the Bomb Collar Penal Legion. I must admit I did quite enjoy them, and how they were very on theme with a gloriously dark, brutal police state, utilising a bunch of more able-bodied prisoners to cause some carnage on the enemy lines, no doubt with a watchful overseer ready to make their heads go pop should they deign to act out of line. Again, a fair few fun details on these guys. I quite like the radio operator. The helmets and masks are quite good fun, and again it looks like these guys are being sent in with boots surplus to requirements. Seems that the state can afford to give them bomb collars but not proper footwear. In any case, here's a closer look at their heads and things. You can swap the heads between the miniatures, so you could have them look a bit different, and you could print off multiple of any one design if you wanted to, say, have a full squad of rifles or lots of flamethrowers. In any case, if you think that any of those designs could be useful to your collections, as ever they're available via Thangs, normally $10 per month for personal users. At the moment there's a code ATL30 for 30% off the first 3 months. You can cancel at any time, and so basically for this month it's essentially $7 for the 6 mech suits and 5 convicts. Any profits from the sub are split between myself, Spiros the designer, and also go to fund the next round of projects, and hopefully keep the cool miniatures coming for some time to come. Then after their month of being featured, they go on general sale on Thangs after. Over the past 6 months or so we've built up a fair few things for the Iron Enforcers now. There's the regular Patrolmen with their laser machine guns and batons, the rather crazy Segway Enforcers with their taser lancers, the Oppressor Infantry Fighting Vehicle with its front assault ramp, Constable Scout Walkers mounting some big guns, jetpack equipped Storm Legionaries, and a squad of 6 riot shields with which to repress the masses. In addition to the Gorilla suits, there's all these 3 miniatures on Thangs to download as well if you want any of these designs, a Segway Patrolman, a Cyber Dog, a regular laser machine gun one, a riot shield at ease and a tank commander, as well as the guerrilla suit and pilot. Finally, if you want a bunch of rank and file patrolmen with small arms and special weapons, they're also available from a company called Godforge in the USA. They have these 14 designs printed for $28, so hopefully it could be some good rank and file infantry to meet a bunch of infantry squad style needs. Shipping might add a little bit extra to that, of course, and hopefully he'll be adding a few more designs at a later date. Otherwise, for next month to round off the year for the Iron Enforcers, one thing we quite wanted to do was some kind of terrain set. As an early idea was to do some sort of city terrain sort of pieces, some sort of grimy city that might feel right as a sort of backdrop to 1984 or some other dystopian thing. And Spiros' idea was to do something like the Games Workshop terrain layouts, perhaps with a skin of sort of New York style city streets. I'll certainly be interested to see what he comes up with. I think that will be the primary offering for December, and as well as that we might start to do a few catch-up months as well, keeping the new stuff coming every month, but also doing a second run of things like the basic enforcers and oppressor vehicle if you missed out on them the first time round. That's more at the planning stage at the moment though, but I think it would be kind of nice so they could cycle through so people who joined later could eventually catch up with the entire thing. In any case though, feel free to check out things down in the video description. Let me know any other ideas for future projects that you might have. We have been keeping lists and keeping notes of things, and once we get through a bunch of the more common ideas, we can do some more polls to see what people want to come next. In any case though, a big thank you to anyone supporting and keeping this fun side project for the channel a reality. I'll leave it there for this one though. A massive thank you for listening, and I'll be back in the not too distant future with some more 40k related stuff, so stay tuned if you'd like to see that. The Iron Enforcers will be watching you, and I'll hope to see you guys next time.